Welcome in to Rover Sports. It's 1:16 a.m. and it is Saturday night. I had a couple of thoughts about tonight's Jets game. Watching Christian Hackenberg tonight, he had an opportunity to make an impression on us. He had an opportunity to play well. He had an opportunity to show the coaching staff that he was ready to start and he was ready to make a statement. Instead, tonight's game, the offensive line was pitiful. Bilal Powell didn't get any rushing yards. Today, Christian Hackenberg missed Robbie Anderson on a go route early in the game. There were no opportunities. He was very slow getting set up to throw, and the offensive line did Hackenberg absolutely no favors. Tonight was a train wreck for the New York Jets. They are so devoid of talent, not only offensively, but even in the cornerback positions. Marvin Jones today, he really looked like a Hall of Fame receiver against Mo Claiborne. I mean, Stafford and Marvin Jones were picking on Mo Claiborne all day long. But looking at Christian Hackenberg, he had the entire first half, and the guy can't move. He can't drop back. He's not really an efficient West Coast guy. And what John Morton is doing is he's not playing to Hackenberg's strengths. When you watched Bryce Petty lead the offense in the second half, now I know that this was against second string guys. Bryce Petty was a lot more successful. He was getting the ball out quickly. He was hitting Miles White and Chad Hansen. Even Jordan Leggett had some plays down the field. Bryce Petty looked in control. His footwork is better than Hackenberg, and he is a lot more decisive. He plays decisively where Hackenberg plays scared, afraid to make mistakes. Bryce Petty is older, got experience last year. There is no reason to start Josh McCown at quarterback. None. This defense is not an elite defense. You're not making the postseason with Josh McCown. Josh McCown is not going to be your guy going forward. Allow Petty and allow Hackenberg to get opportunities and allow McCown to simply coach these guys and simply just pay McCown. Even if McCown and this team, like by a miracle, had a successful season, you're not going to have McCown for the next year. What's disappointing is that the Jets general manager, I believe it's this Irish guy, Mark, let me see, the Jets GM is Mike McCagnon. That's the guy's name, all right? He has no relationship with his players, and there is no direction of this franchise. It's unbelievably disappointing. I mean, drafting Bryce Petty in the 4th round, okay. Then getting Hackenberg a year later in the 2nd round out of Penn State. Guy has a big arm. Guy needs confidence. I even was watching Blaine Gabbert today play preseason football. That's, the point of my life that I'm in is that I'm staying up like a degenerate watching Blaine Gabbert play preseason football. But even Blaine Gabbert under Bruce Arians looks like a completely different guy. More confident, playing the game, not thinking so much. With Hackenberg in this offensive line, first of all, with the O-line, nobody had a chance, really, against the Detroit Lions defensive line. Detroit looked like they were dominating up front. Brian Winters had so many mistakes today, nearly got Hackenberg killed. So a lot of this is complete ineptitude by the Jets in their offensive line. Kelvin Beachum, Ben Ijolana. This is just one of the worst offensive lines in football. Then you're trotting out Robbie Anderson, Jalen Marshall, Sharon Peake. These guys are nowhere close to being efficient NFL wide receivers. Like, your wide receivers are a D, your offensive line's an F. Quarterback play right now is an F. The whole offense with John Morton is a complete and total failure, and I have no idea how Todd Bowles and John Morton are going to survive after this year. Then you look at your corners. Buster Skrine, Justin Burris, Mo Claiborne is considered your savior, and he is considered a bust if not for one season with the Dallas Cowboys. Marinelli down there in Dallas basically said, or basically was trying to keep the ball when they had DeMarco Murray, keep it away from Mo Claiborne because he'd get burnt so much. And of course, the Jets offer this guy money. And Marvin Jones, who is more known for that flip that he had in Cincinnati than doing anything substantial, Marvin Jones, a marginal wide receiver, was absolutely schooling Mo Claiborne. So this team right now looks like a complete and total train wreck. And I'd want to see Bryce Petty play 8 games. I want Bryce to get the start, but Bryce is so far considered in the doghouse now. And with Hackenberg tonight, last week he showed signs of maybe progressing, of getting the ball out faster. But tonight, for 2 quarters, complete and total embarrassing performance from Hackenberg, the offensive line. There were no checks at the line of scrimmage, no leadership. The footwork is awful, indecisive. Hackenberg pump faked, throwing into double coverage. The ball just slips out of his hand. Christian Hackenberg, I just don't think that the guy's ever going to materialize, and he's definitely not going to materialize with John Morton, this West Coast offense. It'll take him about 3 years to get down this system, and Hackenberg is not built like that. He's built on shotgun passing, on play-action bombs. He is not built to be this Phillip Rivers type of quick 3-step drop and ball is out. He's 6'4". He's like 230 pounds. He doesn't move that well. Get him in the shotgun. Get him the football quickly and let him make quick decisions, or let him throw immediately out of the shotgun. Let him play in an offense sort of like maybe a Ben Roethlisberger type of an offense, or looking around the league. I mean, looking at Hackenberg and what style of system that he would fit into, Hackenberg, even in Adam Gase's system, would do better, like what Jay Cutler is doing. Hackenberg, looking around the football landscape, even in Chicago, would do better. Even in Ben McAdoo's system, or in the Mike McCarthy system where he's in the shotgun, you're able to get him the football quickly. But this 3-step drop, this under center transition, it is not going to work this year. And maybe my theory again is that the Jets are already looking in the quarterbacks for next year. I don't know if there's any congruency with McCagnon in this offense. You got to allow Chad Hansen to play. You got to allow Jordan Leggett to play, and Ardarius Stewart. All those guys showed signs. And Bryce Petty right now, a better athlete than Hackenberg. Petty owned the day. I'd let Petty start the second half next week for sure versus I'd let Petty start next week, 0 doubt.